I'm Rick.
And I'm Josh.
I'm Jeff. And we're on the conspiracy zone.
Forgot the name for a second. All right.
So, what's going on, my guy?
What do you got? It's your turn.
It's yours.
dude.
It's your episode.
I know, I'm waiting for the music to go.
Yeah, that's not how I do it. I kind of lower it, set the
he
vibe
works
as
it
you're
out.
talking.
He fades it out, baby.
Magically fade away.
He's
No,
a professional.
Just cut it off abruptly there.
I did. It
I
just
wasn't
cut
ready
off.
for that.
Well,
Wasn't
that's
it?
how you wanted it.
Ready?
Isn't that how he wanted it? All right, so go ahead, Jeff.
Do it like a Wheels of Steel.
I don't know what that means.
Never mind.
Well, I want to know what it means. What does it mean?
Now I got to know.
I got it. I know what Wheels of
What
Steel
is
is.
it?
I got you.
All right, bring it back.
Welcome to the Wheels of Steel.
Oh, my God. All right, cut this. Cut it.
Wow.
Start over.
No, leave it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're leaving
we're
it.
good.
We're leaving it.
You just blew out some poor guy's eardrums.
Sorry for all you listeners at home.
Jesus.
I'm driving. Well, Jeff, do the show. Do
We're going
that
to talk
show.
about a serial killer today.
Oh, that's fun.
A serial killer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one you've never heard of.
Wait, the one I never
but
heard of?
Possibly could be
In this room.
the most prolific serial killer of all time.
What?
Yeah.
And we never heard of him.
How?
And you never heard of him.
How's this?
He's an actual convicted serial killer.
Okay.
But
He's just not famous?
only of 5 murders. With a suspected
Well, that's enough.
Yeah, I feel like
by the suspected by investigators to have committed 7 to 10 more. But is there a chance he could have killed like every famous person that you ever heard of?
Wait,
before?
so hold on.
Like
Give-
every
give me
famous
an
murderer
example.
in history.
Yeah, who is
All
he
right, so
responsible for?
let's go into this.
Yeah, look, he did
I am
everybody.
intrigued.
Did them all. All right, so this is
All the
about
top 5s?
Edward Wayne Edwards.
Oh, he sounds like one. 3 names.
Yeah.
3 names.
Oh, you should see
Winning
him.
right there?
Yeah.
You should see
And
him. If you
Wayne's
see
in
his
there.
picture, you just go serial killer guy.
All right, so go ahead.
All right, so Edward Wayne Edwards, born June 14th, 1933, died on April 7th, 2011. He was an American serial killer and former fugitive. Edwards escaped from jail in Akron, Ohio in 1955 and fled across the country holding up gas stations. By 1961, he was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Edwards was captured and arrested in Atlanta, Georgia on January 20th, 1962. After his release from prison on parole in 1967, Edwards murdered at least 5 people between 1977 and 1996. He's suspected of several additional killings. All right, so go into his autobiography a little bit. He grew up in an orphanage.
Oh.
And he was physically and mentally abused by the
There is like
by
a
the nuns there.
Yeah, there's like a potion or a mixture to create a serial killer.
Yeah.
I think mommy issues has to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
But being an orphan
And getting
or,
abused.
or like having your mom as your sister, and
Yeah.
like that's a big. I think that was Bundy and Charles Manson.
Oh, yeah?
Manson thought his mom was his sister.
I think the whole like mom being shitty thing can go the other way too. So like my great grandmother had like 11 kids, gave them all up for adoption at one time. Like boom, put them in an orphanage. Yep. Her husband died.
Can't
Her
stop,
husband
won't
died
stop.
back then. He was a moneymaker. She couldn't.
Oh, she
afford
gave
them.
them all up at one time.
At one time. Boom, couldn't afford them.
The whole litter,
The whole clan.
the whole litter,
The whole
gave them
litter.
away.
Listen, a
Like
little
puppies.
You try giving away 11 Irish dirt balls. Nobody
Damn.
wants them.
Nobody wants.
So they went to like a Catholic orphanage where they were abused. They were abused. I mean, it's not funny. They were abused sexually. They were abused mentally. All that stuff.
Oh, wow.
And every single one of them came out decent fucking people, like really, really good people. They had the most empathy.
Abuse
I'm for abuse a
from the
little
church.
bit. Yeah, if it molds you.
And where are we going?
But my point being is like it's not just that. It has to be that with other things because
Not
this
just-
created
yeah, right,
really good people with kind hearts who've seen the devil in the world and knew not to be it. So I think that like it's a mixture of the mommy issues, the abandonment issues, and then it's also you have to have the wiring there a little bit too to start. There has to be some kind of sociopath
Yeah, there has to be more.
tendencies or
Gotta be
psychopathic.
that- you got to have that warrior gene thing, the psychopath gene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rick.
Ricky's pro-abuse.
pro abuse.
That's what I took away
Yeah,
from that.
I don't know. Right on you, mate, I guess.
All right. So He was allowed out of juvenile detention to join the Marines, of course.
Okay,
They all
there it
go in
is.
the military,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Dahmer, I think Manson went into the Army or something. But, yeah, a bunch of them went into the services. But
Yeah. I mean, that'll warm you up to killing, right?
especially like in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I think even with a psychopath, there's that, can I do it? Should I do it?
Yeah.
And then when someone gives you a license to do it, you're like, this is kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there was some serial killer that said he went to Vietnam because he was allowed to kill people
Oh, that's
there.
a perfect
Like, he
place.
signed
I'm
out to
sure there's
go.
many of them.
Yeah.
Folk.
So, all right. So he was, so he went in the Marines, but he went AWOL, so he was dishonorably discharged. He traveled frequently in his 20s and 30s, working as a ship docker, vacuum cleaner, retailer, and a handyman, among other assorted jobs.
They're like all shit jobs.
So in 55, he escaped from jail and traveled the country robbing gas stations.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, if you didn't do the murders,
is kinda dope.
that's Bonnie and Clyde type shit.
Yeah, you just like just driving around, and then when you need some money, just rob
go
a
in the
gas
gas station,
station.
get some gas, get some money.
All right.
Well, gas prices are high.
He wrote that he never disguised himself during any of these crimes because he wanted to be famous. So he wanted to be.
So he did
known.
5 of these things.
Yeah.
And bare face, no mask.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
no
Because he
gloves?
wanted descriptions of them out there. He wanted to be on TV, and he was known to have told the people at the orphanage, including the nuns and the kids, that he was going to be the greatest criminal in American history. Like that was his goal. That was his goal one day.
That's
You'll
like
see.
evil villain shit,
You'll
right?
see.
Who says that? I will be the greatest criminal they've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
who does
it's definitely
that?
different.
Yeah.
It's
He
not
watched too
common.
many cartoons or something. Like, he thought he was Lex Luthor. But to be a mastermind criminal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I want to be a cool ass fucking gas station robber turned serial killer.
Serial killer.
Yeah. So he was placed on the FBI's 10 most wanted list following the escape. He was held on suspicion of impersonating a federal officer. That's how they recaptured him.
He did like a Catch Me If You Can kind of thing. Like, he's over there impersonating cops.
Right.
Yeah.
So they stuck him in Leavenworth. And in 1967, he was paroled. He claimed that the influence of a benevolent guard at Leavenworth reformed him. And he got married and became a motivational speaker. He then went on to appear on a television show called To Tell the Truth, in which he told of his life of crime.
There it is.
Wait,
That's where
he didn't kill
confessed?
anybody yet?
No, he didn't kill anybody yet. Well, that we
okay.
know of.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Okay.
been arrested or convicted of it.
So he was so reformed that he's on TV shows talking about the shit?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Okay. That's wild.
And he wrote a quite famous book. It was an autobiography about his life called The Metamorphosis of a Criminal, the true life story of Ed Edwards. So that book is actually was popular at the time. It was like a bestseller. And but by 1982, he had returned to a life of crime and was imprisoned in Pennsylvania for 2 years for arson.
He's back at it.
Where at in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, where?
Yeah.
It doesn't say. It just says Pennsylvania.
No, it's crazy he went to Leavenworth. That's like, when you hear that, that's like the worst place you can hear. Like, I don't even know much about prisons, but when you're like, oh, they sent that motherfucker to Leavenworth. Like, oh, what'd he do?
It don't sound good. Yeah. He fucked up big.
Yeah.
This guy gets out, has success, writes a book, he's on TV shows. It sounds like he's doing okay for
He's
himself.
like a criminal mastermind.
Yeah. He tricked he tricked us all into thinking he was reformed. So when he goes out and does the dirt, we're like, not him.
Yeah,
Did you read the
nah,
book?
yeah.
Not
Never
him.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart. All right. So
It's
good.
good. The boy's good.
So between 74 and 2009, when not incarcerated, Edward lived in more than a dozen different states.
Wait,
Rewind.
a dozen. Do you know that's the
He's-
same
he-
thing, right? You could have just finished out that 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
Well, all right.
Thank you.
Good job, Rick. Go ahead, Jeff.
You want to read this?
No, we'll be here way
no.
longer.
Yeah,
Let's
it'll
go.
be- yeah. All right. So he lived in more than a dozen states. And he went on through many false names and aliases, according to his daughter, April. And so in 1993, a letter was found among his papers to the FBI where he requested his history and records for cities in 19 states. J. Edgar Hoover personally gave him permission to proceed to write the book, even because he assured him that there would be nothing bad in it about the FBI.
Okay.
So 19 cities cities in 19 different states. So this guy's been all over the country.
Right.
So the known murders, kind of boring.
Yeah, let's get
killed
into
like
what? Okay.
He killed 2 teenagers that were
No big deal.
They were in a parked car.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
terrible, Jeff.
That feels like Sam, right?
Son of Sam or,
Yeah.
or the Zodiac.
Yeah, right.
And then he killed. They found Lavaco and Straub lying on the ground.
Who? What? Say that
shot
again.
Point blank
Lavaca?
with a 20-gauge shotgun.
Is that French for
He
vodka?
received life sentences for the crimes.
We're caught up on the name.
Give us the name again.
Lavaco and Straub.
Lavaco.
Lavaco.
These are the 2 names? Other last names?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The second pair of murders was another double homicide in Wisconsin.
So wait, is his MO so far 2?
2.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
so-
he's the 2 guy.
Tim Hack and Kelly Drew were stabbed and strangled. They were referred to as the sweetheart murders.
So they're stabbed and strangled. What were the other 2?
Shot with a shotgun.
So he's all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
He's
rhyme or
trying to
reason.
figure
to
it
his
himself
shit.
out.
He doesn't have an MO. He's
Just doing things.
just whacking
Yeah.
people.
We're gonna get it right, I guess.
So these were known as the sweetheart murders, which is like the first time he becomes infamous.
Okay, for like
So
a
he's
couple.
got like name
Okay.
murders.
He's probably loving that.
Yeah.
Guy he is.
Yep. They were.
Would you like that if you? What the fuck?
They questioned him at the time, but had no basis to hold him. So almost 29 years later, his connection to the crime was established by means of DNA testing.
Ooh,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll get you.
got another
I'll
one.
get you.
So that's a little bit of the background on this guy.
All right.
So how many murders?
Right there's
4,
He
right?
was convicted of 5 murders.
But that was we only
just
discussed 4.
there, yeah. Other possible murders
What are you listening to?
were up to. There were 7 to 10 that investigators suspected him of.
Oh, that he didn't admit to. Of course, did he? So, like sometimes they'll give these guys deals, like tell us about all of them, and we won't kill you.
Right.
You didn't get that.
Right.
Yeah, well, come on, this guy outsmarted them.
Oh, I forgot.
He's a criminal
Like
genius.
Luther of
He's
murder.
robbing gas
They didn't
stations.
even-
How did you not know he was a mastermind,
They
dummy?
didn't even get him on the 2 sweetheart ones until 2010,
so
and that was
good.
only because of
DNA, right?
The boy
Oh,
is
this
good.
is what
The boy is good.
So after his death, retired homicide detective James Cameron speculated that Edwards was responsible for several high-profile cases. You ready for this list?
Yeah, for sure.
You want to hear?
Let's
this?
go. Let's go. Let's
You
go.
ready?
All right.
All right. Is it possible that one man was responsible for the murders of the Black Dahlia,
Whoa.
Marilyn Shepard?
Wait, how old is this guy?
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Dahlia was when?
The Black Dahlia was in the 40s, I think 1946.
And he was born 33.
Yeah.
So what is
He would have
So
been.
or no, maybe it was 48.
Okay. So he's like 15.
Yeah, he's a teenager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This
So
15-year-old could do it,
the
yeah.
Black Dahlia, you know about that one?
Yeah, but
Sort
how
of,
common
some
is that?
stuff.
A 15-year-old murderer, like,
I don't know.
you know what I mean?
Who knows? Yeah,
I'm sure it happens. All right, let's move on. Fuck it.
Dahmer did his first in high school.
There's
Oh,
15
never mind. Well, enough said then.
prodigies and everything,
Yeah.
right? 15-year-old
Yeah,
chess
yeah,
players that can
Yeah.
do things. But okay, the Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
There's she was murdered in a suitcase in Hollywood or some shit like that.
Like the most famous unsolved murder in L.A. history.
Yeah.
Really?
So it was Elizabeth Smart. She was a young girl from like Idaho or something. Went to L.A. to become an actress, and of course, like every other girl that went there to become an actress, she's
Gonna be a
she
big
was just
star.
Basically, living day to day.
Yeah, struggling.
Yeah, but very beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
Ends up being found dead in a like a lot where they were going to build houses. Back then, there was they would take giant swaths of land and make like Levittown type developments. So she was in like a lot in one of those things where she had been bisected across the middle of her stomach. So 2 pieces.
Oh shit.
Maybe it was
Legs
just a
were
magician
one
act
half.
gone wrong.
Yeah, right. It looked like that. And
Okay.
her face was cut to look like the Joker almost. Like her smile
Like
went
a permanent one?
went ear to ear. And she was posed in a certain way. And yeah, it's never been solved.
And he's claiming to be the guy that did this.
No, he's not claiming this.
Oh, okay.
Other guy's claiming that.
Right,
he
right,
did
right,
that.
right.
But that's crazy because it doesn't kind of fit what he did later on in life. Like he did 2 at a
Right.
time, but he did switch his shit up.
Yeah, he switched it up a lot.
And if that was his first one, that's going to be sloppy. It takes a long time, I would imagine.
That's not sloppy. Yeah. Well, actually, they did like the medical part of the autopsy of the Black Dahlia. Made it. People thought it was a surgeon because the way they bisected her
was like a perfect
got
cut.
like right between certain organs and fell on like the third vertebrae, so that it was like exact precision the way she was cut.
Oh.
Now, I guess someone could take a saw and hack through and just accidentally do that.
Right.
Yeah. But the investigators thought it was a surgeon.
Well, what if it was like a butcher?
It could have been a butcher too, yeah. But whatever it was, they thought the person had some sort of, atomic or anatomic knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's that one. Next one, Marilyn Shepard.
Don't know that.
You know who that is?
Familiar, no.
Dr. Sam Shepard.
Nope.
The fugitive.
Oh shit!
The one-armed man?
It was the one-armed man.
So it's based on that?
Huh?
Was it based on that?
They're saying, that was a
Yeah,
real
that
murder.
movie.
Oh, I didn't know.
The show and then the movie, The Fugitive, was based on an actual case.
And was the husband innocent in real life?
Yeah. The whole thing was.
And they're thinking it's this guy who did it,
Yeah.
not one-armed man.
Yeah. Well, this guy, the guy Cameron, who came up with this theory, said that he had discussions with Ed Edwards about because he wanted to be the greatest criminal of all time, and he was interviewing him about being a serial killer and all. And Edwards said that his favorite thing to do was to frame other people for his crimes.
Oh.
So
shit!
this would be the first instance of that, where he framed Dr. Shepard that he killed his wife. So he would have been the one-armed man, really.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did they ever, in real life, they never caught the killer?
No. No, the real killer was caught. Sam Shepard was let free after it was proven that he didn't kill his wife.
And then they caught the real killer.
Yeah.
But then they're saying that ain't the real killer.
Right. Well, this guy's saying it's
They
not
should
the
do
real
like
killer.
another fugitive to where like it was never the one-armed man. And then the one-armed man's on the run trying to find this guy.
Right.
There we go. We got another one.
No, don't go up against Ed Edwards, dude. He'll get you.
Yeah, I'll fuck with that guy.
So the next group of murders would have been that he was the Zodiac killer.
What
No.
the fuck? Out
Lover's Lane.
Yeah, well, matches,
Oh,
right,
yeah,
right,
that's
right.
what
Yeah,
Yeah.
like killing
Couples.
Did they ever
Yep.
catch a Zodiac killer?
No.
Well, they did now with this guy.
Unsolved. And Edwards, actually, when he was in the military, worked in the
Astronomy section?
the division where they do ciphers, where they would decode,
Yeah.
intelligence from other countries.
Makes sense.
And the Zodiac killer was known for making those ciphers that he put in the paper.
Okay.
So he had a background in encryption and decryption.
Did he ever admit to any of this, or he's just being accused?
This guy Cameron interviewed it's who knows? Could he have been messing around with the guy, just leading him along, saying, "I'm the greatest criminal that ever lived"? Because he knew he was in jail for the rest of his life. He wasn't going.
Yeah, why not claim this?
So why not just fuck around with this guy's head?
Yeah.
But it comes into play where this guy started to do research, and he found out that Ed Edwards was in places at the times that these murders happened. And Edwards obviously didn't say, "Hey, I'm the Black Dahlia killer, and I'm the one who killed Dr. Shepard's wife, and you guys all thought it was the one-armed man." He didn't say that, but he was known to be in the places where these things happened at the time that they happened.
Like every time?
I don't know about every time. This guy wrote a book called "It's Me: The Many Murders of Ed Edwards," so where he describes the entire history. So you'd have to read that book to really know what this guy's philosophy or the theory of the case.
Right.
But what evidence do they have that he was in these places?
Well,
Yeah, what do they have?
In some of the case, we'll get into some of the other famous cases, but there's pictures where the guy kind of looks like there's a picture of him in the place at around the time.
Oh,
What, like on the crime scene and shit? Like in the background?
Like I'll get into it more when we come
Okay.
across them. All right. So the Zodiac murders, I don't know how he came across that, except it was the Lover's Lane stuff. He was killing couples,
Okay.
right? But Edwards was in San Francisco at the time of the Zodiac murders. That's where he was living at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Martha Moxley, you ever hear of her?
No.
So she was in Connecticut, very rich area, like Greenwich, Connecticut.
okay.
The Skakels lived across the street from her. They are cousins of the Kennedys. So this is like JFK and RFK's cousin.
Okay.
His neighbor across the street gets murdered, and it's a big deal because they think it was
The Skakels.
Oh shit!
Right, and it turned out, I think it was that, like, they could never prove it, but they thought it was the older brother, but it was actually the younger brother because she was like hooking up with the older brother, but the younger brother was in love with her. So one of them smashed her head in with a golf club and left her under a tree.
What?
Yeah,
Fucking Skakels.
What?
Yeah.
Skakels are at it, boy.
Wait. First off, the name is shit. Like, what? Your
name.
cousins are Kennedys, and you got to be a Skakel.
yeah.
That sucks.
Well,
I might kill somebody just because of that. And then
Like, couldn't you just keep your last name?
Well, like Maria Shriver's their cousin.
that's not a bad last name, Shriver.
Yeah, Shriver's
Oh,
not.
you don't like
He's caught up on the name.
Skakel. Like, that sounds like
on the
it's like
name.
something that grew on my foot. Like, I got fucking Skakel again.
My Skakels flared up.
Skakels are flaring.
So this guy,
Got to get the Skakel removed.
this fucking Skakel, what he does is he falls in love with his brother's girlfriend. And
No.
No.
He falls in love with the girl across the street who's like his age.
Okay.
So he's like 15 and she's 15.
All right.
And his brother's 18. His brother's cool.
Right.
So she likes the cool older guy.
Right.
Cool Skakel.
So she goes with him.
Badass
And then
Skakel.
the
That
young,
Skakel.
That's
Everybody
Skakel. He got that
wants
Skakel
Yeah.
energy.
the young jealous Skakel like,
Yeah.
cracks
The
her
Dark
in the head
Horse
with a
Skakel.
golf club.
God.
Yeah, and leaves her like it was like on Halloween too.
Oh,
It was a
shit.
super famous case. It was like 1977 or something.
Then he just Skakels away.
Yeah.
And nobody even how
Yeah.
they solve it.
Just
Well,
Skakel.
no, it took like 20 years. Dude, you know who solved it?
Who?
Mark Furman from the OJ trial.
Really?
He went, like remember he got disgraced for
Yeah,
being
yeah,
a
yeah.
racist and all.
All this.
And then he moved to Connecticut and
And
started
solved this
researching
thing?
this shit and
We're
solved the whole
solving
thing.
this shit. I'm redeeming myself.
Before or after the
He
OJ
solved
thing?
it to write a book.
Ow.
Like he was writing a book about the case and,
And then
ended up solving it. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And wait. So then the young Skakel was arrested?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he went to jail for it.
Did Mark was this before or after the OJ trial?
This is after.
After,
This
yeah,
after
yeah.
he's
Yeah, he's
disgraced. He
disgraced,
like
yeah.
has to go find make a whole new life.
This
What
is
a
his way
fucking-
back
what a
in.
way
Right.
to do it. I mean,
Right.
yeah. Like,
I'll solve the toughest
moves-
case.
He moves across the country and picks up a 20-year-old cold case involving the Kennedys and the Skakels and
Yeah,
Martha
that's
Mott.
huge.
And then solves the damn thing and writes
That's
a book
crazy.
about it.
It's fucking racist though. I can't appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, fuck him. Piece of shit.
Okay, that's kind of awesome. So then, how does this guy play into it? Like now they're saying that Mark Furman got
So
it
what?
wrong.
Are they? Yeah, they put him on the case.
No, Mark
No.
Furman got it wrong. It's
Yeah,
John.
it's
Yeah,
Ed,
yeah.
it's Ed Edwards.
Ed Edwards did this
He
shit.
did it. I think this one's just thrown in because it was famous, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was known to have lived in Connecticut at the time that this happened, or actually Massachusetts.
Okay.
So he could have,
Been there easy.
he could have taken the ride down,
But here's
Right.
the thing: did anybody
killed some chick with a golf club for no reason,
Yeah.
and
Some
then
Skakels.
and then framed the Skakel.
Skakel ass.
He Skakeled him.
But how did they? Do you know how they proved that it was a Skakel? Like, was there DNA? Was there like evidence that?
Well,
Mark
there was
Furman found?
Skakel hair everywhere.
There's-
They're known
yeah.
to be hairy.
These are Skakel footprints.
That
I've
damn
never seen them.
DNA.
I think he did such a good job of investigating it that the guy actually
Sweeping.
confessed.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Damn.
yeah. He like dug him out. He got him.
Dug deep on him.
Yeah.
So wait, what?
You know,
All right.
the second that guy confessed, he was like #1 bestseller. Like, he didn't give a fuck about justice.
He just wanted to flip the table right there. Fuck this shit.
Redemption.
I'm back.
Meanwhile, nobody knows the story. It's the first
Not
time
at
I'm
all.
hearing it.
Yeah. That's wild.
He's still known as
It
a
is- no,
racist.
it's definitely
nice
crazy.
try. You're still known as a racist.
Yeah, piece of shit. All right, let's go.
All right, so the next one you guys will have heard of this guy, John Walsh, the America's Most Wanted guy.
Yeah, yeah,
his,
yeah, yeah.
His son, remember he was
Yes.
he was kidnapped.
That's why he
from
started the
from
show,
a
right?
mall. Yeah, and was found decapitated on the side of a road.
Jesus.
There were a lot of people who thought it was Jeffrey Dahmer because Dahmer lived.
He was on his tear?
He like delivered pizzas or something like next to that mall at the time that happened.
Well, that would be my suspect.
But he had no record of. First of all, he had
Like
no
no
record
connection
of
or
killing
nothing?
anybody then. But he also was like he was known as like a homosexual predator. Like
Okay,
he
yeah.
preyed on black men usually. Like
Okay.
I think all but one was a black guy. So No kids. He never killed any kids.
Wait. So this is proven?
That Dahmer didn't do it?
Oh, wait. We're talking about Dahmer. I've had a brain fart.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
my gosh.
Dahmer did
What?
that shit. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know where was that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
So
Josh is here.
there's another serial killer, Otis Toole. He confessed to the John Walsh murder.
Okay.
So this was years later, like 20 years after the fact. They arrested him on a bunch of other murders, and he confessed to doing John Walsh. But could it have been Ed Edwards?
Yeah.
Is that what they're saying?
Who
this
lived
guy
in
said?
Florida at the time.
Oh.
This dude he's in the area.
Yeah.
He's in the zone.
He's like always there.
And this guy who keeps coming up with these like things, he has proof. He's just like, because
Well, all right. Have you guys heard of the West Memphis 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, explain it just for people who haven't.
This guy claims Ed Edwards killed those
kids?
boys too. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And he framed the 3.
The 3.
And there is a picture of a man who looks very similar to this guy sitting in the court behind Damien Eccles
That
as
could
he's
be.
on trial.
That's crazy.
So the guy this is one Ed Edwards actually like teased the guy,
Really?
telling him that he lived in Memphis, Tennessee at the time, which is just across the river from West Memphis, Arkansas, and that I forget, I read this thing earlier today, but this was one where the guy actually was like, yeah, it could have been me. I'm not going to tell you, but it could have been me.
Oh.
And then they
But
find
that's weird
the
enough to
picture.
say.
So the
like-
West Memphis 3, I'm trying to remember it. So
Yeah.
it was 3 teenagers that were
Yeah,
looked
they were like
into
heavy
satanic
metal.
shit.
Yeah, they were in a heavy
And then when
metal.
this murder happens in this small town, they're like, it's got to be the 3
Them,
devil
yeah.
worshippers.
Right.
Well, they weren't devil worshippers.
That's
though.
what they
No,
thought.
but they were
just-
headbangers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 3 little boys go missing. Nobody can find them for like 2 days, and then they finally there's this little part of the neighborhood called Robin Hood Hills where there's woods, and there's like a drainage ditch in there, and they find the boys in the ditch, and
Right.
they
They were
beaten and
terrible.
mutilated and all.
There it is.
And so right away, this is during the Satanic Panic, where everything was devil worshipers.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which the FBI to this day has said, still has no record of any ritual killing by a devil worshiper or
Jesus.
Satanist.
That's
it just
insane.
doesn't exist. But,
Right.
But during the 80s and early 90s, we all heard it all
Yeah,
the
for
time.
sure,
There was-
yeah.
There were devil worshippers everywhere. If you listen to
Sacrifices
if you-
everywhere.
If you watched Oprah or Geraldo or whatever, you'd have thought they were just like,
I'm pretty sure Josh was one.
yeah, you would have thought there were
Oh,
more
yeah.
devil worshippers than not.
Yeah.
He liked that Metallica a little too much.
Well, I was into heavy music.
Yeah, so the
my dad
one-
was worried. I remember that. He's like, "See how you dress? People could just say things about you because you look crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well-
look how this could happen to you."
Yeah.
I remember that shit was wild. I was like, "What?"
Damien Eccles was the oldest. He was 18 at the
Yeah,
time, but he
right.
was still in high school. But he like wore Metallica shirt. He
Shirts,
wore all
yeah.
black everything all the time.
Right.
He's like original trench coat mafia guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like literally wore a trench coat when it was 95 degrees outside. Black long hair,
Right.
put
The works.
mascara, the whole
He
deal.
just crawled out of Hot Topic.
Right. And so him, and then there was this kid that like followed him around like a puppy that was like 2 years younger than him, who was like a nerdy kid. But
Looked up to
He
him,
wanted
sure,
to hang out
right.
with the cool badass guy.
Right.
And then there was another guy that was like a total idiot, and he's the one that confessed to everything.
I did it, Earl.
Yeah, he was like,
What?
They were like, did you kill them boys? He's like, no, it wasn't me, but it was Damien and the other guy.
He just panicked and just started
Yeah,
pointing
yeah,
fingers.
like,
It's them. Leave me alone.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, they interrogated him for like 12 hours, and then he finally just gave up.
See, that's just fucked up
But
right there. Like,
he had like an IQ of like between 60 and 80, which
Yeah.
is like functional, but you're not. You know,
yeah, you don't know.
You could
exactly
get
what's going
outsmarted
on.
real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the detectives
like
just
Rick.
kept pressing him and he finally just went, all right, yeah, Damien did it. And they were like leading him. They're like, oh, your friend Damien looks like like a devil worshiper guy. And he's like, no, he's not. And they're like, yo, no, he really looks like it. And he's like, oh, maybe he is.
Oh, I'll be damned. I had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 12 hours of interrogation is inhuman. Didn't they do that thing with the Avery case, whatever that was? The
Stephen Avery. We'll get
Yeah.
to that. We'll get to that.
Oh, it's on there?
Oh,
It's on there?
shit. This dude really did everything. What the
I've been
fuck?
everywhere, man.
Man, this guy's the worst.
So anyway, those 3 the three West Memphis three were eventually not exonerated. They were given what's called an Alford plea.
Yeah,
where
didn't
you
they?
can
Yeah,
plead guilty but
Right.
maintain your innocence, and they
That's
let you out
crazy.
of jail.
I can't believe they
There
made him do
aren't there
that.
people who like don't take that and like, nah, I'm getting the whole
Well,
thing.
the one,
You would
man, I wish I
think.
could remember their names.
Yeah.
The reason they do this is so you can't go back and sue them later.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
That's
exactly.
what it is.
No, I'm
and
staying
the
in jail.
one
It's
kid
going down.
didn't want to do it. He was, but he knew because Damien Eccles was on death row. He was like,
yeah, you gotta do it.
So
you
they
gotta
were
save a
like,
buddy.
they did it just for him. So that, but the one kid did not want to take the plea. He still wanted to stay in jail and fight.
Yeah,
'cause
I
he's
didn't do
innocent.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's overwhelming evidence that these kids had nothing to do with it at all.
Yo,
It's
remember the
bullshit
HBO
that-
thing? Like
Well,
that
oh,
whole
yeah, the
document?
documentary.
Yeah, there
Dude,
were three.
what was it? The
Paradise
stepdad? He
Lost.
was the sketchiest of them all.
they're-
I'm going to shoot you, Damien Eccles.
See, but
that was
that guy,
crazy.
That guy is the least likely to have done it.
Yeah,
He
he's
was a
all bark.
weirdo. He was a character.
yeah, but
if
he
you
was for
if you
sure-
study the case at all,
Right.
every minute of his night is accounted for. Like,
Right.
everyone knows where he was at all times. He's just a weirdo. Like,
yeah, for sure.
He's a
we can all
character.
agree to that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he made it super weird.
Yeah. There's the other stepfather was the one where they found like his hair was in the tie the strings used to bind their hands behind
Well,
their
that's
backs.
a bit much.
Oh, he did that shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
G&A
Well-
don't lie, baby.
Well,
was a
he
haircut
also
too.
had one of the kids was his, so it could have just been a hair that was there, but it was like
On
in
it,
the
yeah.
knot. It was like inside the knot. So,
that sucks.
It
but
sounds like hands
there's
on.
not enough evidence to charge
Prove
him
it,
either.
but-
So how does
there's
your guy
like
come in?
zero evidence to
but
charge
then
these
they
three
never
kids.
ever found the actual murder.
No, they
This
don't
guy's
know.
claiming.
How does your guy come in? Who puts him there? The same.
That's what I
Well, they said in the
he was
courtroom.
one where he kind of
hinted. Okay.
hinted that
Yeah,
he might have been there.
I wouldn't
and
tell you
there's
anyway,
a
right.
picture of a guy sitting right behind Damien Eccles that if you put him side by side with a picture of this guy, you can talk yourself into that's him there.
It could be
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. So, and that happens more than once with the picture thing. So, next one is JonBenet Ramsey.
Oh boy.
Really?
Yeah.
He's doing kids now.
The other ones were just kids.
Three boys and
Boys,
John
yeah.
Walsh.
Wait, how old were the boys that got murdered?
Oh,
They were
young.
like 8.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought
young
the boys
kids.
you meant teenagers.
No.
That's why I was
No,
so
the
crazy.
teenagers were
Okay.
the ones accused of
Yeah.
killing.
Okay.
Right.
So, this is JonBenet Ramsey.
Remember?
I know
Still
JonBenet.
unsolved. Still like one
Yeah, it
of the
has-
most
right.
famous. Geez, I mean, that was all anybody
The
talked about.
theory,
for-
the theory I heard that's kind of I would believe it just because it makes sense is that the brother who has sociopathic tendencies murdered her because she wet the bed, crawled into his bed at night because she was scared, wet his bed, and
you're getting your theories all mixed up.
What?
Is that
What
right?
Because the one theory was that her mother killed her because she wet the bed.
No. This is a theory. So her crawled into bed with her brother. Her wets the bed. The brother beats her, and the parents cover it up to save the brother.
There's no evidence that she was in his room.
Here we go, y'all. This happens once an episode.
No, I'm not going to argue it. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, you just like
okay.
You're just-
you're
yeah.
conflating theories because there's a theory that Patsy was frustrated with her because she kept wetting the bed and she was 6 years old. So Patsy being like a very proper like she would have been embarrassed that she's wetting the bed and
Right.
getting mad at her.
Right.
So that she did something that accidentally killed her, and and then they made it look like something else happened. The other the Burke theory, Burke Ramsey, the brother, is that he had hit her in the head with a golf club like a year before, and he's like whatever the media whatever he seems like he was a weird kid, and her skull was like fractured, like big, like a big fat dent in the back of her head. And the only thing they can think of is there was a flashlight that was seen in the crime scene pictures on the countertop that the Ramseys claim they don't even know where that came from or anything. Some people think it could have been a cop left it on the counter.
Yeah, that would make
And while
sense.
the crime scene was being photographed, they got a picture
right.
taken. But she was definitely hit in the head with something. That's what killed her, the death blow. She was found with a garrote around her neck, and she had been somehow sexually assaulted.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
There was that going on?
Yeah, like they don't know to what extent because the bruising and whatever wasn't clear. There was no
Semen.
there was no semen found, but there was DNA found.
Yeah.
in her in the panties that she had on was like
Jesus.
a male, an unidentified
male, yeah.
DNA.
Unidentified. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
wait, could that have been our guy?
it could have been Ed Edwards. Did
they ever run that?
Check it.
Did they ever run that? Somebody run that.
I don't think anybody's taking this that seriously.
Mark Furman, get on this shit. Write a fucking another book.
Where's Mark Furman at?
Test a semen, would you? Come
I don't know.
on.
He was the one accused of, transferring OJ's blood everywhere, dripping it everywhere. So
he's not good
I don't
with
think
it.
you want him on the DNA.
You don't want his hands.
I don't even trust
Hire an
that.
outside party.
Who them people? The Skookles?
Skakels.
Skakels are on it.
I don't even.
You think the Skakels got?
They're innocent.
They got railroaded.
Skakels seem to be more people that would do all these
Mark
murders.
Furman is the planting type. He plants some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we have this one. This is huge.
With JonBenet, it was Christmas Eve, and they had been out at a party and been to several places where like there were Santa Clauses running all over Boulder that night. There's a Santa Claus in a picture where he's behind JonBenet, and it looks.
Does it look like him?
This one
Does it?
really looks like the dude. Like
Really, the one that's like covered up in a disguise and shit.
Yeah, it's like freaky how much
That's
it looks like
crazy.
the guy.
I don't know. He did it.
Now it's starting to not look good.
So, all right, then you got Chandra Levy.
Wait, this guy is like the Forrest Gump
More.
of serial
Yeah,
killers.
exactly
right,
what I thought.
exactly.
Dude.
Just like
Exactly what I
every
thought.
major event.
Yeah.
What the
That's
fuck?
yeah.
If this is real.
Dude, he wanted to be the greatest criminal of all time.
Yeah, well,
did
that
it.
would do it if this is all
and he
real.
loved framing people for his crimes.
He's like the criminal mastermind genius that we never knew we had.
Jesus.
Do you know who Chandra Levy was?
No, it's this one.
So she was in Washington. She was like a intern or something for like the Senate. She was having an affair with her boss who was a U.S. senator at the time, and she ended up dead in a park in D.C. And for like a long time, I think his name was Gary Condit, and like people they were really investigating him, and it was all conspiracy theories that this dude like killed this girl because she was gonna tell his wife or whatever.
Cool.
But it didn't really make any sense because she was like murdered in a park, like off the side of a trail. Like if that guy's gonna if he's gonna kill, he's gonna like
Let it be known.
throw her in the river or something, not leave her
Yeah, get
laying
rid of the
there.
body. Yeah, because he would be suspect.
Yeah,
He
you
would
just
know
make
he
her
would be
disappear. You don't
Yeah.
kill her out in the open in the park. Well, anyway, there was like some homeless guy that was eventually convicted of her murder. But he could have been framed by Ed Edwards.
Oh my god!
Dun, dun, dun.
How did it,
Oh,
God.
God.
Hold on? How did that come about? Is it
I think that guy just threw that one in there too.
Yeah. So you know what?
Why not throw
I
it
did
in
that
there?
too.
poor
This
homeless
guy's-
guy?
yeah,
Well, at least the homeless guy's
he's the
got 3
worst.
hots on cop.
Yeah.
Now. I mean,
What about
What if he didn't want him?
what about Lacey Peterson?
I'm not familiar.
sounds
Really?
familiar.
I didn't know.
Scott Peterson?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Scott did that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's claiming to do it too?
I actually, dude, listen, I'm 99% sure Scott Peterson did it, but there is like weird evidence that's like outstanding.
Yeah.
That like there's like 20 people that say they saw Lacey walking her dog around the neighborhood well after he would have already been gone for the day.
Okay.
At like 10:30. He supposedly left the house at like 8 in the morning, stopped at his
Any photos of him there?
office.
He never got convicted, right?
Yeah,
He did?
but he's gotten 2 appeals that went like to the Supreme Court of California before they got shut down. But there's like weird thing, like all right, so they found her body in the bay where he went fishing. So people go, that's open and shut.
Yeah.
But the police were like telling the media every step of the way what the evidence was. They said, oh, Scott was in the bay fishing that the same day. So if you kidnapped her and killed her, wouldn't you just go throw her in the bay where he was known to have been? And,
Yeah, it makes
and
more
frame
sense.
him.
Yeah.
So it's like there's weird stuff like that where like there had been another murder of a woman who was found in the bay, the same exact bay. She was pregnant at the time. She had no arms, no leg, or no feet, no hands, no head, just like Lacey. 6 months prior.
Oh, shit.
That's a serial
So
thing.
we know Scott didn't do that.
A repeat.
So it's this guy. What's his name again?
Ed Edwards.
Ed Wayne.
How do you
Ed
fucking
Wayne
forget the
Edwards.
name Ed Edwards?
You got to put the
Pretty
Wayne
It's
on
like if your
it.
name
Ed
was
Wayne
Rick
Edwards.
Rickson.
My name is Rick Runson. Like it's pretty memorable.
Yeah.
Right? Memorable. I'm getting tired.
It's like, you all right, buddy?
Remember.
Okay.
All right, final one. Teresa Hallbach. She was killed by Stephen Avery.
Oh, that's the Stephen Avery case.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
that one's a weird one.
This is a good one, though.
Because if you watch the show, if you watch Making a Murderer on Netflix, great show.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
He and his nephew were convicted, which is so ridiculous because the nephew obviously had nothing to fucking do with it.
Yeah.
It's another case of
Case
like
where that
a
one-
very, like a not, whatever.
Like the Memphis
Yeah,
one, right?
His IQ was probably pretty low. If you watch the show,
That
you
was
realize,
so fucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, why'd you do it? They're like, did you do it? And he's like, yeah. They're like, why'd you do it? He's like, I didn't.
yeah, exactly. And that went on for hours.
Yeah, like hours of that.
Yeah.
So the kid obviously didn't do it. So that's a false conviction right there. But Stephen Avery had been tried and convicted of a rape that he did not commit. 20 years prior, he did like 16 years in jail for a rape that it was proven that he didn't do.
That's what makes that story so interesting.
Yeah, it's exactly why it's interesting.
Because he didn't do it. He got off on it, and then even got awarded some money, and he got his life back together, and now he got accused.
Well,
again
he
of
had a
something.
lawsuit against the police department, which is why people think he got framed for this.
Yeah.
Instead of, but it probably was just him. He just felt like killing because fuck it, I'm going to kill somebody.
Can't
I
stop,
was in
won't
jail
stop.
for
It's in him.
20
Yeah.
years. I might
It's
as
in him.
well do it.
He was in Leavenworth.
But if you watch the show,
Yeah.
these Ed Edward people will direct you to a scene where there's a guy
No way.
walking down the hallway of the courthouse, smiling at the camera, and he looks exactly like this
No
Ed
way.
Edwards dude.
Oh, no.
Dude.
He's
You
everywhere.
went down the rabbit hole in
Yeah.
this shit. This is.
Yeah,
I got to see these
it's
pictures.
wild, dude. But
Mastermind.
so anyway, that's the story of Ed Edwards.
That's super interesting.
You
Like
think-
Yeah, it's crazy, and he's in all the spots where, or not too far away to commit or do these murders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that
Like-
was the other thing.
why is he traveling in these areas at these times?
That's the other thing is he was in Wisconsin at the time. He's known to have lived in Wisconsin.
Ah,
at the
yeah,
time
right. I mean,
of
I'm
the-
sure this goes along
It's
with
a-
every one of them.
Like all of these are pretty much he lived there at the time.
And that's just weird. Who the fuck moves around that much? But to be at all these hot spots for
He did
this
it.
crazy shit.
He did it.
You think so? He's not
mastermind.
just buying time.
No, I mean,
You think he did them all?
Yeah, he's dead now, right? I mean, is he dead? now?
He's dead now.
Yeah. He had it.
Born in 1933. He would, if
Yeah.
he was alive, he'd be like.
He died
90,
in 2011.
2011. So
Yeah.
he was like in his 80s.
He's like, yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's crazy shit, man. I had no idea.
So, Ricky, you say he did it?
Yeah, he did it.
You think so, for real?
Did all
Okay.
of them?
Oh, he was there, baby.
I would like to believe he did it because
Yeah.
it would be like the greatest serial killer story ever told.
Who's winning?
I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I
It's
got
not a bedtime story,
Well,
but
there's a Paramount. It's a 6-part series called "It Was Him: The Many Murders of Ed Edwards," and it goes into the
Like
whole
all
thing.
this
You can
shit?
watch it. I haven't.
Oh, wow.
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to check it out.
I'm definitely
I
checking it
wonder
out
if it's
after
on
this
Paramount.
now.
I guess it's
Paramount
on that
Plus.
app.
Paramount Plus,
Paramount
yeah.
Plus.
Yeah.
What's it called? One more time.
It's called "It Was Him: The Many Murders of Ed Edwards."
Yeah, watching that.
Yeah, check that one out, folks.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we did it.
Yeah, that's a good one, dude. That was actually cool.
Yeah, learn something new every
Super
day.
weird.
Jeff does a lot of real weird research in his private.
So you
time.
said it was
Blah,
him?
blah, blah.
I don't know, dude. That's too much.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's-
he
it's
definitely
fun.
didn't do all of them.
Yeah,
it,
no.
it would be cool if he just was like the Zodiac killer.
Yeah.
But he did
Just
go
one.
to prison
Just
for
one
the.
of
Just one, yeah.
But he did go to prison for the 5 he was.
For the five that he
did.
did commit,
Okay.
and probably 7 to 10 more legit ones that he
That they
really
were.
did.
Yeah, okay.
So,
All right, that's the show, guys.
all right.
All right.
Don't forget
Squiggles.
to like, follow, and
Subscribe.